Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about the quote to live a creative life, we must lose fear of being wrong. As a person who is very creative and also does post, content for social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, I feel like this quote specifically, like, it really speaks out to me in many ways. I feel like, yeah, it is right. It is true. If you want to be a creative person and you want to share your ideas, like, I feel like as a person, you really shouldn't, I wouldn't say not care about what your peers think or say about your content, because I mean, at the end of the day, you really are trying to, like, get your ideas like targeted and like targeted to a certain audience and stuff. So I mean, you would have to care a little bit, but I don't think it should be to the point where it's like you're afraid to even go ahead and post your ideas or your creativity, your art, whatever it may be. I just don't think that it would be a good idea or a smart move, to, like, I guess, be worried about that, because I feel like at the end of the day, like, you should always keep in mind, like, well, what if my ideas, spark some kind of other inspiration or other ideas in somebody else, and it just becomes the new trend. And like, I just don't think that we should look at it in a bad way. If anything, we should look at it as an opportunity, and I feel like that really goes in hand with our, like, as a consumer, as a person who provides content, and also as a person who is viewing it. I really feel like it does go in hand, because obviously, if you're a viewer watching content, right, and you're constantly bashing on someone, well, I mean, they're just, that's like, I feel like that's just gonna affect their way of thinking and being like, you know what, like, I'm so afraid of being, like, not accepted for my ideas and my and what I think is creative, and what I, have, the confidence to even post to begin with. I feel like that really does affect, um, you know, people who, post anything, to, like, create some kind of content. I feel like, creativity just, it shouldn't be looked at as anything wrong. If anything, I just, like I said, I feel like it should just be looked at something positive. Like, you never know, like, you can always, like, make something big out of something so small, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I think that we should really take that into consideration also, as well as a viewer, because you never know, like, you really, like, like, I feel like a viewer, anything a viewer might say to a creator, it really does hold some meaning to it. I mean, although I can sit here and say, I don't care about what these people think, I'm just gonna post whatever I want, and we're just gonna call it a day. um at the end of that day, like, it's still, I'm still gonna remember that comment, that this person said, you know what, I don't agree, or I don't like what you did here. I don't like your idea that you brought to us today. Like, that still is, that's still gonna definitely, like, hold some kind of weight on to the creator. And that's how I feel like, like, when creators often, like, for example, on YouTube, like, when people, like, always want to like, with people, when people comment on, let's say, somebody's YouTube channel, like, when they ask, like, what do you want to see out of my channel, and it's just like somebody, like, keeps saying, like, well, I don't like the videos that you're already posting, I think you should do this and do that, and it's just like, as a creator, you're just like, well, in my mind, I thought this was a creative idea. I thought, like, I thought it was good enough to post, So I don't know. It just really goes hand in hand with each other. And I think that um, people should just take that into consideration. But at the end of the day, I feel like, as a creator, as a person who provides any kind of creative content, or anything like that. I feel like, you know, who cares what these people think? At the end of the day, your goal, what you want to do, is just put your ideas out there. You never know, you might inspire somebody to do something bigger and better, and like you might start the next new trend and stuff. So who cares what people really think is right or wrong, you know? So it's like, I don't know, like I just think that there really shouldn't be any like kind of thinking that your idea might be wrong, because you never know, like you really never know. Like you can start something big and brand new that nobody's ever thought of before, and you're sitting here doubting yourself just because like some girl told you that this is not a cool idea. Like no, like it's not worth it. It's not worth wasting your creativity to begin with. It's not anything, you know, that should stop you from, you know, putting your ideas out there and putting your art, putting your creativeness out there. I don't think that it's should be something that holds that much weight on you. But I mean, yeah, I feel like as a creative person myself, thankfully my confidence is where it's at a point where it's like, at this point I don't like, I'm doing it for myself, for nobody else. Like yeah, I'm glad people can, you know, get ideas and get inspired off of what I post, but at the end of the day, like I'm never really worried about like, oh, like, you know, like people aren't gonna like this, and you know, like I have to create something that, you know, that the people will like. I mean, obviously, like I'm thinking about like, you know, like what's trending and what's new, and you know what people like are looking at, you know, obviously, but it's not something that it's like gonna take me away from my original creative idea. You know what I mean? Just because my creative idea isn't really what's fitting in with, you know, trends and what's new and everything, you know, like that doesn't mean that it should just like disappear because, you know, it's not what everybody else is thinking. But yeah, like I said, I totally agree with this quote. You really can't live a creative life if you're constantly worrying about people thinking that you're wrong. That doesn't make sense. I feel like as a creative person, you just do whatever you can, bring your ideas out the whatever way you can, and if people like it, then they like it, and if people don't, then they don't. But at the end of the day, your creativeness is still out there in the world now. So, you know, that's just how I feel. Thank you.